Hello and welcome to another Digimon TCG Battle Royale. This time we don't have just 3, we don't have just 4, but 6 competitors battling against each other in this massive match. But only one of them can take home the crown of being the number 1 Digimon TCG player. And now let's meet the players and see what they are playing. We have the returning champion, Vladislav, who won the first ever Digimon TCG Battle Royale. And he's back with his green beatdown deck. Let's see if it'll bring him another victory. We have Stanislav, back again with yellow, but not Rookie Rush, this time he has a proper deck. Next we have the blues man himself, Stanislav, who's once again piloting a blue Evolution Sources strip deck. This time, however, it has been upgraded, since we added another box of BT4 and BT5 each to our arsenal. And now, introducing our first newcomer, we have Tomislav. He's playing the Red Piercing Shine Greymon deck, the one Stanislav was playing in the first Battle Royale, but with some minor modifications. And finally, we have Borislav, who's playing a Black Blockers with Reboot deck. And of course, there's me, playing a Jank 3 Musketeers deck. I say jank because I only have 2 Starmons, so I'll be lucky if I manage to drop one and do some damage. And our combatants are set, so let's get ready to rumble! And it looks like Tomislav has the first move. And he just passes. Riveting gameplay right there. That means Borislav can now start his turn with 3 memory. He hatches a Pagumon, and then just plays a Black Memory Tamer Tai Yagami, passing the turn over to Vladislav with 1 memory. He hatches a Fremon, evolves it into Bakumon, then into the blocker Kabuterimon for 1 memory, after which he plays Palmon, who has an on-play skill to reveal the top 3 cards of the deck and add a level 4 Digimon among them to the hand. And unfortunately Vladislav reveals anything but a level 4 Digimon, so everything goes to the bottom of the deck. And so the turn is passed to me with 3 memory. I start by hatching a Tsunamon, which I evolve into Soundbirdmon. Following that I play a Labramon, which allows me to draw a card from the deck and then discard 1 card from my hand. I discard a Happy Bullet Showering and I evolve the Labramon into a Ginkakumon Promote, passing the turn over to Stanislav with 2 memory. Stanislav hatches some Pikmons, evolves them into Patamon, and plays the Memory Tamer Marcus Daemon for 4 cost, giving the blues man 2 memory to work with. He hatches a Kyaramon, and it looks like he has no rookies because he just plays a Grizzlymon from his hand. Please excuse the glare, our lighting is terrible, we're working on a budget here. Anyway, it's back to Tomislav, who now has 3 memory to work with. And it looks like he has drawn a rookie because he evolves his Gigimon into Agumon. Then he evolves his Agumon into Greymon and plays a memory tamer of his own in the form of the red Tai Yagami, and so uses up all the memory Borislav would have gotten anyway because of his Tai. And so it's off to Borislav, who starts his turn by playing a black memory boost. He reveals a Chikurimon, 2 Toy Agumons and the black memory tamer Easy Izumi. He takes one of the Toy Agumons and puts the rest of the cards at the bottom of his deck. He then of course evolves his Pagumon into the newly acquired Toy Agumon, and he ends his turn by evolving the Toy Agumon into a Greymon. And it seems he didn't draw for evolving into Greymon, and none of us noticed it to remind him. Well, he's still new to the game, so it's bound to happen. God knows how many times I forgot. Anyways, it's back to Vladislav, who moves his Kabuterimon into the battle area and plays a Kuwagamon, who has an on-play effect to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and he suspends my Ginkakumon Promote. Not sure why, because he just unsuspends right away at the start of my turn. At the start of my turn I move my Soundbirdmon to the battle area and I use it to attack Tomislav, triggering its effect to trash one option card to gain 1 memory. I discard a Trump Sword, and since I discarded a card from my hand, I get to draw a card because of Tsunomon's inherited effect. And on security check, a red memory boost is revealed. I then evolve my Ginkakumon Promote into Rebellimon for 3 memory, and I use his when Digivolving effect discarding a Neon Bone to give him Retaliation and Blocker until the end of my opponent's next turn. And I end my turn by evolving Rebellimon into Gundramon. And I use his when Digivolving effect to reveal the top 5 cards of my deck. I reveal an Omnimon Zwart, Labramon, Impmon, Sora and Mimi, and a Sound Birdmon. And since none of them are a 7 cost option card, they all just go to the trash. And Stanislav can start his turn with 4 memory. He moves his Patamon to the battle area and plays a Starmon triggering its own play effect, decreasing my Soundbirdmon's DP by 2000, thereby deleting it. But that's not enough for him, because he plays Spiral Masquerade, which reduces the DP of Vladislav's Kabuterimon to 0, deleting it as well. Next up, Stanislav, who has now also drawn a rookie, evolves his Kiaramon into Gabumon, then into Koelamon, after which he plays a Gabumon for 1 cost because 3 of his opponent's Digimon have no evolution sources. Finally, he evolves Gabumon into Paildramon, who upon evolving trashes the 2 evolution sources from my Gundramon. And on the start of his turn, Tomislav moves his Greymon to the battle area, evolves it into Megadramon, and attacks the yellow Stanislav with it, checking a Pidomon. And he passes the turn over to Borislav by playing the 2-cost Tai Kamiya. Borislav of course starts his turn with 3 memory because of his Tai, and he evolves his Greymon into Metal Greymon, still in the raising area. Once again not drawing a card for evolution. And he finishes it off by evolving his Metal Greymon into a Kresgarurumon. But unfortunately he doesn't get to trigger its when Digivolving effect since he's in the raising area. Vladislav then hatches a Pinamon, evolves it into another Bakumon, evolves his Kuwagamon into a Cherrymon, and plays the Tentomon, revealing the top card of his deck. And it's not a Digimon, so it goes to the bottom of his deck. At the start of my turn I hatch a Demi-Meramon, evolve it into Sound Birdmon, and play another Labramon, getting some deja vu here. I discard a Magna Kidmon from my hand with Labramon's effect, and at the same time Stanislav just ends his turn by slamming another Marcus on the field. And it's off to Stanislav, who moves his Koelamon into the battle area and plays his own memory tamer, the blue Mate Shida, passing it over to Tomislav, who evolves his Megadramon into a Breakdramon. Next he uses the delay effect of his red memory boost, gaining back 2 memory. And following that he plays a Lightning Joust, giving his Breakdramon a security attack +1 on top of the +2 he already has from Greymon and Tai, and he proceeds to attack me with it. Now I could block with my Gundramon, but since his Breakdramon has more DP and piercing, I'd just lose a Digimon and he'd still get the security checks, so I decide not to block. And I check an Impmon, another Impmon, and a Deputymon. And it seems like we miscalculated the security checks, because I should be losing 4 security because of his +3 security attack, but we probably forgot to take into account the one hit gets from Tai. Anyway, Tomislav ends his turn by playing a red memory boost, revealing from the top of his deck 2 Guilmons, 1 Lightning Joust, and a Shine Greymon. Of course he takes the Shine Greymon to his hand and returns the rest of it at the bottom of his deck. Borislav then moves his Kresgarurumon to the battle area and proceeds to attack the blue Stanislav with it. Stanislav elects to block with his Grizzlymon, after which Borislav plays a black memory boost, revealing a Greymon, Easy and Joe, Meton Greymon, and another Chikurimon. Man, they are never in the security when you need them. He takes the Meton Greymon to his hand and returns the rest at the bottom of his deck. Next he uses the black memory boost he had from before to gain back 2 memory. And he fires off an Iron-Fisted Onslaught, deleting the Digimon with the highest play cost on all of his opponent's fields. And Vladislav now gets to start his turn with 6 memory. And at the start of his turn, since Borislav's Kresgarurumon has reboot, he also unsuspends during Vladislav's unsuspend phase. Vladislav moves his Bakumon to the battle area, plays another Tentomon, revealing the top card of his deck, and again it's not a Digimon, so it goes to the bottom of the deck. Next he plays the 2-cost Easy from the green starter deck, and passes his turn, giving me 3 memory. I move Sound Birdmon to my battle area, and I attack Borislav with it, triggering its effect. I discard a Trump Sword to gain 1 memory. And the security check is Brave Ludramon, which means my Soundbirdmon is deleted. And that triggers my Demi-Meramon's inherited effect. I draw 1 card and discard 1 card from my hand. And I discard another Trump Sword. Next I attack Vladislav with my Labramon. And I hit a Terriermon in security, so my Labramon survives. And now, since I have 7 7-cost option cards and or 3 Musketeer cards in my trash, I get to play Bellstarmon from my hand for just 5 cost. And her own play effect triggers, allowing me to add back the Happy Bullet Showering from the trash to my hand and playing it without paying its memory cost. So now all of my opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP are deleted. And since Stanislav and Borislav only have 1 Digimon on the field, they are both deleted. And it's off to Stanislav now, who apparently has no better move than to play the EX1 Magnadramon directly from his hand, giving the blue Stanislav a shitload of memory. And at the start of his turn, he evolves his Kiaramon into Bluecommon, and even though his song is full of blues, he's still having an absolute blast, which trashes the bottom evolution source of Vladislav's Bakumon, and returns my Bellstarmon at the bottom of my deck. She couldn't even last 1 round. Then Stanislav plays a Gabumon, which draws him a card from the deck, and finishes his turn by playing the 2-cost Medishida. At the start of his turn, Tomislav hatches a Gigimon, evolves it into Agumon, then into Greymon, and plays a Breakdramon from his hand, but he miscalculated the memory cost a bit. The Breakdramon costs 1 memory more than the maximum 10 he can give to Borislav, so he just sacks his memory boost to give Borislav 9 memory. And problem solved. Borislav hatches a Pagumon, evolves it into Chikurimon, and this time he draws a card for evolution. He's learning, folks! Next he evolves the Chikurimon into Greymon, then into Meton Greymon, and then he just drops a Shademon for 6 memory. At the start of his turn, Vladislav hatches a Pinamon, but it seems he has nothing to evolve it into, so he goes for the attack with his Tentomon, attacking the yellow Stanislav. And he proceeds to trash his Tentomon before he even sees what the security check is. And the security check is Magna Angemon, which means Tentomon would still be deleted, but don't be so hasty, Vladislav. Next he attacks Borislav with his Bakumon, which Borislav blocks with his Shademon. And then he attacks me with his other Tentomon, revealing a Gewaltschwärmer. Man, out of all the option cards I have, the one that does nothing when checked in security just had to be there. And for some reason Vladislav trashed his Tentomon. Didn't even notice it when we were playing. And he finishes his turn by playing an Entmon, giving me 6 memory. I hatch a Tsunomon, evolve it into Labramon, and I play Deputymon from my hand. With his own play effect, I reveal the 4 cards from the top of my deck, which are Happy Bullet Showering, Fly Bullet, Impmon, and Analog Youth. I add the Fly Bullet to my hand and trash the rest of the cards. After that, I attack Tomislav with my Labramon, revealing a delicate plan in the security which goes to his hand. Finally, I evolve Deputymon into another Gundramon, and with his when Digivolving effect I reveal the top 5 cards of my deck, which are Analog Youth, Bellstarmon, another Gundramon, Impmon, and Neonbone. And since there's a 7 cost option card among them, I get to use it without paying its memory cost. So I activate the Nailbone, which allows me to bring back a purple level 3 and level 4 Digimon from my trash. And I return the level 3 Sound Birdmon and the level 4 Ginkakumon promote from my trash. At the start of his turn, Stanislav hatches a Pikmon, evolves it into Patamon, and goes for the attack on the blue Stanislav with his Magnadramon. And since he has 3 or less security cards, he gets to recover 1 from his deck. And the security card he checks is Zudomon. Finally, he evolves his Magnadramon into Chaosmon Waldur Arm, using his effect to reduce the TP of my Gundramon by 7002 times, thereby deleting it. Then the blue Stanislav moves his Glucomon into the battle area, after which he fiddles a bit with his board setup because everything needs to be pizzicato, as we say here. He then evolves his Glucomon into Grizzlymon, and plays Howling Memory Boost, trashing the bottom evolution source of Chaosmon, and targeting Endmon to not be able to attack or block until the end of the opponent's next turn. And the memory goes to 1 on Tomislav's side, but Glucomon's inherited effect gains Stanislav 1 memory back because an evolution source was stripped of an opponent's Digimon, and he draws a card because of Kiaramon's inherited effect. So now it's still his turn. He attacks Borislav with Gabumon, checks Commandramon in the security which has higher DP than Gabumon so it's deleted, and he plays Pot of Greed. Sorry, I mean Cordramon. I always get those two confused. And so he gives Tomislav 6 memory at the start of his turn. Tomislav keeps his Greymon in the raising area, plays an Agumon straight from his hand and evolves it into another Greymon, and he attacks my Labramon with his Breakdramon. And since he has Piercing, he gets to check my last security card, which is just an Impmon. Finally, he plays another Memory Tamer tie and passes it over to Borislav. Borislav moves his Metal Greymon into the battle area, evolves it into War Greymon blocker with Reboot, and attacks the yellow Stanislav with him. He reveals a Purge Shine in his security, giving all his opponent's Digimon minus 3000 DP for the turn, meaning my Sound Birdmon gets deleted. And since War Greymon has Reboot, the inherited effect of Metal Greymon gives him a security attack +1, so he checks another security card, which is Gadomon. And then Borislav just passes his turn, giving Vladislav 3 memory. And since his War Greymon has Reboot, it unsuspends during Vladislav's unsuspend phase. And it looks like Vladislav now has no rookies, because he just plays a Lilamon from his hand, giving me 5 memory. At the start of my turn I move my Labramon to the battle area. Then I play the purple Medishida Memory Tamer, and with his own play effect I add a purple Digimon from my trash to the hand, and of course my target is Bellstarmon. And since now I have 11 7 cost option cards and or 3 Musketeer Digimon in my trash, I get to play her for 1 cost. And with her own play effect, I add back a Transword from the trash to my hand and play a Fly Bullet from my hand targeting Stanislav's Grizzlymon. Then I attack the yellow Stanislav with my Labramon, revealing in his security his own Labramon, which is weaker than mine, so mine survives. And next I attack Tomislav with my Ginkakumon Promote, revealing a Shine Greymon in the security, so my Ginkakumon Promote is deleted. And I finish my turn by playing a Vilemon from my hand, giving Stanislav 5 memory. Stanislav moves his Patamon to the battle area, after which he plays the yellow 3-cost Tai Kamiya. Man, a lot of ties in this game. He eventually remembers to unsuspend his Chaosmon and then attacks me with it. I of course block with my Vilemon because I have no more security and I don't wanna be out of the game yet, but then he attacks me directly with his Patamon, and since I have no more blockers, it means I'm out of the game. He did tell me after I won the previous Battle Royale that it'll be my last, so I guess he just wanted to make sure he was right. You win this round, Stanislav. He then plays a Spiral Masquerade, targeting Tomislav's Greymon, which deletes it, and that ends his turn, passing it over to the Bluesman. He hatches a Kiaramon, fiddles around with his cards a bit more, and when everything's just the way he likes it, he evolves his Cordramon into a Crisp Dramon, which trashes the bottom evolution sources of all of his opponent's Digimon. And now, since his opponents have at least 4 Digimon with no evolution sources, he can play Gabumon for free. And now the stage is set for his favorite level 6 Digimon to enter the field. He evolves his Crisp Dramon into Azulongmon. He also trashes the bottom evolution source of all of the opponent's Digimon, and now counting the opponent's Digimon with no evolution sources, there are 1, 2, 3, 6 Digimon, so he evolves into him for free and gets an extra memory. Sheesh, and they say my cards are broken. And then he attacks Vladislav for security attack plus, well, everything, since he's gonna clear out his security entirely. And he ends his turn by playing Kaiser Nail, bringing back the Cordramon underneath his Azulongmon. And of course his own play effect activates again, which allows Stanislav to draw 2 extra cards. I thought Pot of Greed was supposed to be banned. And it's Tomislav's turn, and he moves his Greymon to the battle area. And with his Break Dramon, he attacks the yellow Stanislav's Patamon. And since Break Dramon has Piercing, he also checks his last security card, which is the yellow War Greymon. But since Break Dramon's DP is boosted because of Tai, he survives the battle. And he ends his turn by playing a Monochromon, passing it over to Borislav. Borislav hatches a Pagumon, and he attacks Vladislav directly with his War Greymon. And since Vladislav has no blockers, he's also eliminated from the game. So that's how you wanna play, eliminating the champions first, eh? Smart. He then plays the Memory Tamer Easy Izumi, and with his own play effect he reveals the top 3 cards of his deck. And they are all black, so he gains 1 memory, so it's still his turn. But he just passes and gives Stanislav his 3 memory. Then suddenly, a Wild Avocadomon appeared. But that didn't phase Stanislav at all. He just goes for the attack. No wait, he's thinking, carefully calculating his next move. And it seems he decided that the best option is to attack Stanislav's Azulongmon. And he's gonna punish Stanislav some more with another Spiral Masquerade, deleting his Gomamon. Now let's see how Stanislav will respond to that. He evolves his Cordramon into another Crisp Dramon, and since I have nothing better to do, I'm relegated to Stanislav's Memory Gauge Assistant. Next he uses the delay effect of his Howling Memory boost, gaining back 2 memory. After which he finally remembers his Crisp Dramon's effect, trashing the bottom evolution source of all of his opponent's Digimon. And now he uses his 3 memory to evolve his Crisp Dramon into another one of his powerful level 6 Digimon, Hexablaumon. And he proceeds to attack Borislav with it. triggering his when attacking effect to trash the last evolution source under Tomislav's Greymon. And since Borislav's blockers have no evolution sources under them, they can't block, so Borislav's security is now free real estate for Stanislav, attacking it with +1 security attack and jamming. Finally, he plays his newly acquired full art Sora and Joe and passes it over to Tomislav. Gotta show off that new bling, eh? Tomislav hatches a Coralmon, evolves it into Professor Agumon, then into Greymon, then he remembers to unsuspend his Break Dramon, and finishes his turn by evolving the Greymon in his raising area into Mega Dramon. At the start of his turn, Borislav uses his Black Memory Boost. And fires off another Iron-Fisted Onslaught, deleting the Digimon with the highest play cost on all of his opponent's fields. And since Stanislav's Chaosmon Waldur arm was deleted, he gains another 3 memory, so he's now at 6. And he immediately spends it on to play a Magna Angemon from his hand, which ends his turn, and then Stanislav gains a bunch of memory from all of his Tamers. Which he uses to play another Core Dramon, drawing 2 more cards. Man, he just can't get enough. And he evolves it into Wing Dramon, ending his turn. Tomislav starts his turn by playing a Red Memory Boost. And since he's bad at maths, he only reveals 3 cards instead of 4, and adds a Wonk Dramon to his hand. After that, he attacks the blue Stanislav with his Greymon, and Stanislav chooses not to block with his Wing Dramon but checks his security and reveals a Gomamon. And Tomislav ends his turn by playing a Professor Agumon from his hand, which adds another Agumon from his trash to his hand. And Borislav, it seems, can't do much, so he just plays the level 5 blocker Andromon from his hand and passes it over to Stanislav. Stanislav evolves Magna Angemon into Slash Angemon, and with his when digivolving effect, reduces the DP of Borislav's War Greymon by 8000, and proceeds to attack the other Stanislav, using the inherited effect of Magna Angemon to reduce the DP of Tomislav's Monochromon by 1000. Stanislav again chooses not to block with his Wing Dramon and reveals another 4-cost Matt Ishida in his security. And Stanislav has nothing else worth playing, so he just passes turn. And it seems Stanislav has finally drawn a rookie, since he evolves his Kyaramon, which has been sitting there for the last couple of turns. After that, he evolves his Wing Dramon into the EX1 Plesiomon, and after finding the spot for it, he plays another Howling Memory Boost, which removes the evolution sources from Stanislav's Slash Angemon, and targets Borislav's War Greymon so he won't be able to block or attack until the end of the opponent's turn. He attacks Borislav's Andromon with his Plesiomon, since it has no evolution sources, but Borislav blocks it with his Shademon. And to end things off, he reveals another new addition to his deck. He evolves his Plesiomon into the BT5 Omnimon, using its when digivolving effect to unsuspend, and since it has Blitz, he can make another attack at Borislav with it, which Borislav blocks with his Andromon, and now Tomislav is free to start his turn. He moves his Mega Dramon to the battle area, and uses the 4 memory he got from Stanislav to evolve it into Shine Greymon. He then uses the red memory boost, gaining back 2 memory, and activates a delicate plan targeting Shine Greymon. He attacks the yellow Stanislav with his Professor Agumon directly, eliminating him from the game. Then he attacks Borislav's security with his Greymon, and since the effect of Howling Memory Boost still hasn't worn off, Borislav can't block with his War Greymon, so the security check goes through. Next, he attacks Stanislav's Omnimon with his Shine Greymon. It's currently stronger than Omnimon, so he gains the piercing effect and attacks with security attack +1. revealing not one, but two Sora and Joes in Stanislav's security. And since he and Stanislav have signed a non-aggression treaty, he attacks Borislav with his Monochromon, eliminating him from the game, and passes the turn over to Stanislav, who gains a whopping 10 memory. And let's see if he can finish the game. He moves his Glucomon to the battle area. Next, he loads one of his Mats into a Lobomon. He attacks Tomislav's security with Lobomon, revealing a Gilmon. Then he attacks with Blucomon, revealing a Professor Agumon. And finally, he moves out his full art Sora and Joe, evolves them into Lobomon and swings for game. And like that, a new champion is crowned. But will he be able to keep his title? Find out in the next exciting episode. Until then, bye!